Hi everyone. This is the first of what will probably be quite a few video announcements or postings. And what I wanted to do today is just give you a quick overview. Alright, we've had a lot of issues last week with trying to get things up in Blackboard, getting into Connect, and so I'm hoping that things are settling down just a little bit. And after we get through the Learn Smart material, or the starting strong material, and everything from this week, then next week we'll be able to start off strong with the what I would say the solid microbiology material. So what you have here is what you should see in Blackboard with your weekly modules. I posted yesterday up here this course schedule, so you can click and print off this file here. And that has the course week by week, the dates, the topic. Last week and this week was Chapter 1. Next week we'll start with Chapter 3, and for the most part do one chapter after that for each week. And then in the notes section you have what's going to be due, whether it be a Learn Smart activity, which you'll have each week, maybe an additional homework assignment, and each week you should have a quiz. Those quizzes are going to open sometime late Wednesday afternoon and be open through Saturday. All right, now week 2 is what we have here, and this is where I'm going to start with. Each week I will move that week up to the top, and so week 1 will eventually be way down here at the bottom where you're not going to see it. And then starting strong, all of that material needs to be finished by this weekend, and we'll see how many people complete it. The big thing is the prep microbiology, and a lot of you have mentioned how there's a lot of chemistry in it, how it's taking quite a few hours, and unfortunately that's just the drill. What I would recommend to get through this is simply taking notes. Write down the statements so that you have them. If you answer a question incorrectly, it's going to ask you to do it again, or it's going to ask a very similar or if not exact question, and then you have that material written down. And it is trial and error. The more questions you get incorrect, the longer it does take, and right now the time frame is 5 to 10 hours of time to complete this activity. So please don't hold off until this weekend to really start working on it. Alright, so that's starting strong. If we go into week 2, you have the different modules, tells you the reading material, and this week it's still Chapter 1, and then you have the different assignments and due dates. So this week you have the Learn Smart Chapter 1, which is rollover from last week, due Saturday night. Chapter 1 homework, again rollover from last week, due Saturday night. And then C1 Part 2 quiz, Chapter 1 Part 2 quiz. This is going to be over the macromolecules, and I will get that posted by late tomorrow afternoon. And sorry, I'm having an allergy attack right now. Alright, so the writing in biological sciences, rollover from last week as well. This is a book that you will have to purchase on your own. It's not included in the registration fees, but we won't use it for a couple of weeks. So you do still have time. If you wanted to share it with someone, you're more than welcome to do that as well. It's really just going to be as a reference, and if you're going on into other courses at CWI, there's other science courses that utilize this book. So possibly you can share it now, but eventually you may want to get your own copy. Alright, so this is just a lecture overview. I'm not going to talk about each page individually, but it's going to say that we're going to talk about the 4 major molecules. Alright, and those are going to be the carbohydrates, the lipids, the proteins, and the nucleic acid. Here you have the different topics for lecture. All right, the different YouTube videos. Some of these are relatively short. Some of them say optional. All right, it is entirely up to you how much of this that you want to read. Some of this may help you out a little bit on the Learn Smart or the Prep Micro activity, and some of it might help out when you start the chemistry modules or the chemistry badges, which there is a problem with that link, so I just hit it and I'll try to figure that out tomorrow. It could be a department issue that's going on, so I may have to hold off on that until the department fixes that. So those are your videos for this week. All right, then you have these individual pages that are going to talk about those major macromolecules. Right, the carbohydrates, there's just some good information here. Information about the monosaccharides, description, examples, disaccharides, polysaccharides, right? Very basic information here. A couple of short videos. All right, the same for lipids, proteins, nucleic acids. All right, then you simply have a page here to say that now you're going to start your assignments. All right, this is homework chapter 1. All right, so you can launch it, launch it here. This is going to take you into McGraw-Hill. And here it's going to ask for my email address. And that's not cool. It is not letting me in. Alright, so it says, so you have to have a student account. That's unfortunate for me, because I can't show you what I wanted to show you here. But that's homework, chapter 1. Alright, now you have the Learn Smart activity. A lot of you, same thing. Alright, a lot of you have finished these activities. Alright, this one says August 29th. This one I cannot get rid of, and I'm worried if I delete it, I might delete some of your scores if you guys completed this at the very beginning or middle of last week, so I'm just going to leave it there. But you want to complete the assignment that's on page 12 here, the one that has the correct due date. Alright, and then what I just added today are actual chapter objectives. Alright, so what should you be able to do after you finish this week's material? Alright, you should be able to list the 4 macromolecules, be able to define and give an example of a monosaccharide, disaccharide, polysaccharide, understand that lipids are fats, oils, cholesterol, steroids, and waxes. Know that lipids are the major component of cell membranes. Be able to state the 4 functions of proteins, and that structure is critical for the function of proteins, and then be able to compare and contrast DNA and RNA. So for the quiz, as well as the exam, you're going to want to go through these 6 different statements and write it out, answer it, or understand it. So list the 4 macromolecules. Carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, nucleic acid. That is the answer for this question, if this were to be a question, and that's how you can create a study guide to study for the exams. All right. So I guess that is it. Everyone is emailing me with questions. That's great. I've been trying to get to those. And the only thing, again, is just get on that prep microbiology activity, because it really does need to be finished. And if you don't finish it by the deadline, then that can be a point to drop you from the class. There's only a couple of students right now who are at risk of being dropped from the class simply because they are not participating in everything. All right, a lot of you are working on different activities. I can see that. That's fantastic. What we simply want is movement forward through the assignments. All right, so next week you will have this type of overview, but you will also have the real PowerPoint slides that I will have for Chapter 3, as well as an audio lecture component like this for each section of Chapter 3.